Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode with us RGJ trains at David Junction.
In a cold shed.
Yes, in a cold shed. It is starting to get a bit colder now that weather's creeping in. We've noticed definitely this last week, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
It's really come to a chill. It's like, we do apologise, the live was a bit shorter, but it does mean they might not be as long with the colder months, or we might move bits inside. But anyway, this week is getting on. I keep going on about it, guys, but it has to be my mountains. There's still a lot that needs to go into it, you see. So I'm going to be working on my bit, the Slatey bit. Those will have watched the live, will have seen that it has started coming on a lot. So if you haven't seen it, you might, I think Rob's have you just shown it?
Yeah.
So some of you might be a little bit surprised at how it's come on. As well as that, Rob is also working on his house on a hill. So it's definitely a very mountainy episode, isn't it?
Oh yes, mountains and hills, including
yes, our first 3D printed item.
We've shoved the 3D printer over there in the corner, just away from the door, and we have done a few test prints with Benchy.
I don't know. Have you found him?
So Benchy was our first 3D print, and then we printed all the huts upstairs, isn't it?
What is he? Is the test mark or something? It's like the standard print.
Benchy's a benchmark.
Yeah.
The huts upstairs, but for this scene, I've created a little skip.
Well, you've not created it. Let's be fair. We're not at that stage yet.
No, it was downloaded from Thingiverse.
Yes, there is a few websites with free free files on. It's fantastic, and you'd be surprised how much for model railways and other things give you like the scales to print it at for the different gauges. But yeah, guys, we're going to crack on with the mountain. The reason why we're concentrating on this so much for the last few weeks is I was actually talking to Graham the other day about scenes. And those of you who have been in this game a while will know as well how long it takes to get the details into scenes, and then you're still not happy with it. But we really need to get this going now so we can get that train line in. I imagine Rob's pointing it downward. So as you see, we do have plenty of headroom for the track, but we need to try and get it sorted so at least we can get the line running again. You know, whether it's bits I can go and add on after, but we do need to try and get the lines running before Christmas, hopefully. Are we saying...
What?
You.
Well, you can do if you want.
Yeah, so we do have an update for you guys as well. Rob has got a date for his operation. Quite a bit of a shock. You know, we thought he'd been put on like a last minute list, pre-op signatures. Got a call yesterday. Oh, we'll book you in for a pre-op. So we thought, well, not happening anytime soon. Then they're just making sure he's covered, and then they phoned back and said you've already had one. We'll see you on the 27th for your operation. Okay, so obviously during that time we can't guarantee that things are going to get filmed or live. We'll try and keep normal, but obviously especially the first few days we don't know what's going to happen with Rob's shoulder.
We might be doing a day live on the Tuesday afterwards, because you won't be able to do an evening.
Well, we don't know yet what's happening, do we, with that, because it's now up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, we will try and keep a bit of normality, but during that time it's going to take us a while, and Rob especially with his pain and things, I imagine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just for you to get used to it. So yeah, it might be a little bit higgledy-piggledy while he's in recovery, but we will still be here.
You can all laugh at me in a splint.
No one's going to do that. But
I'm not bothered if they do. I'm not looking for blood and sympathy.
But yeah, so there might be a change with things, but bear with us just while he's in recovery. It's going to be quite frustrating for him, I think. So guys, we're going to crack on now, and we will see you when we continue on our mountains and the house on the hill.
Mountains.
Mountains.
That's
That's what I said.
Right.
Bye guys. So again, continue the mountain stage. You'll notice again we have our windmill here. The reason being is, considering how long it's been there, what's surrounding it now, it looks a bit too brand shiny and new. So I'm going to have an experiment again with my powders that I've created. You'll see on earlier videos I've created these out of chalks, not oil pastels, just your normal chalks, and grinded them down, and that works quite well for powder. And I also have these. Both of these is something that Rob might have accidentally ordered, although he never does that, guys. Do you, dear? But before, he ordered this streaking grime and the rust oxide. Now the streaking grime I have used on things. It's a brilliant like greeny kind of colour, and this rust one I'm going to have a play with the bars, but I am going to flip it around and do the back, because at least that way if it doesn't quite work how I want, it's going to be hidden. So I'm going to crack on with that, guys, and just have a play and an experiment, because at RGJ here all we do is just, yeah, if it works. Winging a prayer, isn't it, dear?
Always.
So catch you guys in a bit. So guys, just a quick look at this, because I'm going to have to take a step back away from it, especially the rust up here, to try and weather it up the top. But here I think has gone quite well with the powders, and then with the streaking grime even. So I've left some of the dust debris like Rob did with his roof, because again I think that just adds the piled up dust like you would in summer and things. And then I've gone on the walls as well with it, just to give that age effect. I think in this side is worse because it's going to be by the trees and everything like that, and more hidden from the wind. But I think it's just giving it something a bit more, so it's not just bright and in your face.
Right, so what you saw printing on the printer, obviously. Dumb question, good start.
You say I'm bad.
Was this? Nope, too bright, too bright. It is only set on the lowest quality, but with where it's full, I'm not overly concerned about the quality on this little bit. But in the words of Blue Peter, here's one we prepared earlier. Painted it yellow. Grace is yellow.
No, but you did not paint it on that.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Is that the black?
2 secs. See? Really prepared here, guys, isn't he? Yes, that is the black. And that black, for people that want to ask, is the watered down.
I'm holding it up so they can see it.
I don't know where it is. Is that black watered down?
Better when it's in focus though. So it's Tamiya Colour acrylic paint, and it's called Flat Black.
You're off to a good start, aren't you?
Excuse the technical itch, Mum had to come into the freezer. So this is only a low quality one. I'm not overly concerned. This is all experiments and everything. What the idea I thought as well was to use some of Grace's wash that she's been using on the rocks and what have you, to try and make it a bit dirtier. But in the words of Blue Peter, here's one we prepared earlier. So this is at a yellow paint on it, which is that one out of Grace's Supplies. As I say, I'm going to try and brush it with this to see if I can dirty it down and make it look knackered and things, a bit like me. So we'll hyperlapse this. I'll catch you in a bit, guys. Whilst that skip's drying, I'm also going to be putting like loads of rubble and rubbish and everything in it. I found a couple of figures. One is a guy digging, which I'm going to create as well as having these bits of timber. I'm going to create some sand, a sand pile, so he can be digging in the sand pile. And I've got this guy here, and I'm going to use him as a foreman. He might be painting a bit. He's throwing his arms up in disgust at something. Maybe something's gone wrong with the build. But I'm going to do my little sand pile. But I've also got these boards. Got them from our local model shop, and I was thinking of using those as boards inside the loft, and also wherever they are. Didn't plan that very well, Rob. Look, that's screwed. You know where the tiles are, Grace? Slate tiles. The screws.
They were here. Where'd you put them?
Let's go and have a look for them. Bear with us. Underneath the iPad connected to the gimbal. So we've also got these, which are slate tile cut-offs, and it's proper slate. So I've been putting them on the, if I can zoom in a bit. I've been putting them there on the roof, but had a very, very helpful comment this morning on the last video, and something I should have done, and he was very right, and I do appreciate the hint, and I'll try and correct it, is a membrane. Oh, that's great in the background of the computer. A membrane over the roof first before the tiles go down. I can try and tuck it underneath these ones, but I'm going to, like he says, I'm going to put a membrane over these two at some point, make it look a bit more realistic. I'm only sticking these 3 tiles down. The rest, Grace is going to create a box, not the same as, but similar to the flower boxes, and that way you'll have a box of tiles waiting outside the house. Box of tiles waiting outside the house. So again, I'll just hyperlapse a little bit, and you can watch and follow on. Right, so I think we'll leave this as it is tonight. Oh, the skip has to go there. So we got a little skip in. That needs to dry off totally, and then I'll get some rubble inside it. Put some wood planks down here. Might seem a little large, but they're going to be cut down. Our 2 little figures, which are totally out of focus, that gentleman and that gentleman, will be painted over in a matte paint. I think that's what you said, isn't it, Grace?
With the models?
Yeah, the two little builders.
Yeah, they look a bit better with matte paint rather than, they're not going to have shiny clothes or maybe a coat, okay. But yeah.
Got some sand, which obviously needs to be fixed in, and I think Jason said a 40-60 water mix. Got our slates, which need the material all around here, which I totally forgot about. Again, thank you to that gentleman that suggested it. Get that in. I've also glued, I'm not doing this very well, am I? Glued some wood into there. Again, just sort of random, like it's being worked on up there. Got the electric, you'll see the electric wire inside there, so I can bring some lighting up here as well. But we'll call this the end of this episode and carry on with it another time. Thank you very much everybody, and take care.